What's up, everybody? This is Mike B with ZAM.com, and just on the other side of this door, there's a group of people playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. And in just a second, me and Dolby are going to go out there and enjoy it as well. But right now, I am sitting here with Daniel from BioWare, and he's going to tell us a little bit about, or as much as he can, about Star Wars: The Old Republic. So, Daniel, tell me something about. Let's pretend I don't know anything about Star Wars.
Okay.
And tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on here. Like, what are we playing on here?
So what we're doing today is we're showing off a piece of Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is an MMO that is set a few thousand years before the movies, which gives us the ability to tell totally different stories, have huge dramatic events that happen far away from Han and Luke and all of that. So in the other room, we've got people playing the actual game live. All of the other stuff we've shown before. A lot of it was the flashpoints, which are sort of like our very scripted, directed pieces. And we really wanted to show off less of the story aspects that we've been focusing on, and more the, wow, look, we've got a cool big MMO. We've got open environments, we've got a ton of room to explore, we've got really fast combat, like we've got the whole game in there. And so we're just giving people the reins and letting them go at it.
So one thing we've heard a lot about is obviously you've been releasing classes here and there, a little bit of info on the story and all that. So what can the MMO player expect when they get up, to like end game and stuff like that? Like what kind of stuff, the exploration throughout, and then when we get to the end, like what kind of stuff do you guys have planned?
Magic!
Yes.
We actually haven't talked at all about the end game. The thing about the end game and the reason, well, one, BioWare's always had a philosophy that we don't talk about anything until we know it's in. And your end game, if it is going to be successful and interesting, has to be shaped by what is fun about your game. If you decide at the beginning that, hey, our end game is going to be about this, and you decide to start making that and working on it, and it turns out that that aspect of your game is actually very weak, you're in a really bad position.
So as far as leveling progression is concerned, there's going to be PvP.
Yes.
And obviously PvE. So how would...
I don't know that we've ever said that.
Oh, is it? Okay, we can go there then.
I'm totally kidding.
We could twist this up.
No PvE.
That would actually be pretty awesome, I think. But so tell me how leveling and progression would go, starting from the beginning. Like can you level up through like PvP? What kind of PvP scenarios are you guys gonna have? Like what kind of I guess you could say like arena type things.
We haven't.
Are we gonna have like Jedi capture the flag or something like that? Or?
We've actually not talked about the PvP stuff at all, and unfortunately, it's not something we can talk about. I can talk about the fact that, we've always said it is Star Wars, not Star Wave, and be friendly. Obviously, it's a huge, important part of the game for us. We understand that the conflict has to be there, that people have to be able to interact in it both in a personal level and in the larger sort of war level. But we have not actually been able to talk about any of the PvP plans. Again, for the same thing, you need to have all your classes, you need to have all of your combat structure, you need to take all of the things that are sort of the underpinnings of the game and say, okay, this is what works, this is what is good about our engine, this is what is good about the way that we've decided to do animations. Here is what's going to make the most interesting PvP experience, as opposed to just trying to clone, hey, PvP should be this because it was in another game. Because our combat is very different than other games. Our combat is much faster. Our combat is choreographed in a lot of places. If swords actually connect, lightsabers spark off each other, you can grab somebody and put a lightsaber through them. So it doesn't create the easy answers that it would have if we had just gone for the two people stand in front of each other and do an animated combat dance.
Face roll and just go for it, right?
Correct.
So right now, I noticed like right outside here, you guys have a wall that says no photos. So we won't be showing any of those, unfortunately. But I noticed that there was all the different classes, as well as different types of armor based on, or outfits based on boss ups, random loot, crafting, stuff like that, right? So crafting, that was for, this is all intertwined here, right?
That wasn't necessarily everything that was going on that wall, which I'm assuming the no photo was probably, don't talk about no photo wall either. Don't draw it from memory. But we have an amazing amount of content as far as armor sets, equipping people. We're trying to build class fantasies, and that means that I need to still be able to look and feel and act like a trooper all the way through my game.
Right.
If 5 minutes after starting to play, we all look the same, we've lost something major.
So what sets you guys apart? Because obviously everybody's coming out with them. It seems everybody's taking like some
Or attempting
long-running
to
story.
anyway.
Or attempting to. You're right. So what would you say kind of sets, besides the fact that it's Star Wars, sets you guys apart as far as gameplay, as far as graphics and all that stuff from others? Maybe the way that your character interacts. Like you even said that the swords will be connecting, where they're not just be like waving the air animation back and forth. I'm mashing keys and I'm just done. You know. So how is your game going to differentiate itself from other MMOs that are popular out there now?
Well, the primary one is bringing story to the MMO, right? MMOs have always been the aspects of the role-playing game without the heart of the role-playing game, which, you know, if you played a single-player RPG that had no story, you would think that somebody had just shipped you something that was not done. And there's been a lot of challenges and technical hurdles to try to do BioWare level storytelling, which is, you know, a realm more difficult even than storytelling normally in games, and to bring that into the RPG space. At the same time, storytelling doesn't just mean talking. Storytelling means making decisions, having a real reason and meaning behind everything that's in the game, knowing why the statues look a particular way on Corbin, knowing why the houses are laid out this way, building a living, breathing space.
So let's talk about then, if we can, the like mounts and stuff like that. Obviously, character, how they get around and stuff. Yeah. How do you have? Because there's going to be ground mounts, I'm sure, air mounts of some sort, or some kind of air transportation. So
you actually have a list of things we haven't talked about and can't talk about, and you're just reading straight from. Is it behind me?
I'm wearing contacts, like fine print, you know. So
yeah, we haven't actually announced anything about mounts
yet. So like, if I make a Darth type character and I get to the end, then I can't have like a Death Star or something. We don't know yet, right?
I am going to go on record right now as saying you cannot ride a Death Star.
I think I go with that. All right, well, I guess that wouldn't make any sense, right, to put the Death Stars floating around and stuff. So, one thing...
You and a little saddle on top?
Yeah, that would be great, actually. That's a good idea. I like that. When are you guys going to be going out beta and start getting out keys and all that? Is that on the list of things I can't ask?
No, you can ask all of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you just don't get answers.
Do I get an answer?
No. So we've announced that we are coming out spring of next year. We have not announced a firm beta schedule. Unfortunately, it's the same thing. So obviously, if the game's not ready to show for beta, we're not going to show it for beta.
So it sounds like, I mean, just kind of to generalize a little bit, that you guys are not going to do anything unless it's done right the first time.
No. We're going to do things, mess them up, redo them 15 more times, but not tell you about them until we're done.
You're going to be sure about it the first
Correct.
time around. I'm going to need about just a few hundred beta keys for myself, maybe a few hundred for Dolby, and I think that's pretty much it. So
send your requests to BioWare.
yeah, spam at bioware.com. Yeah, we'll do that.